Hello everyone, this is Jihan. I'll be doing case study 5, which is about helping a school prepare for a new mandate. Now let's start with the characters in the first part. First, there is Sandra Sanchez. She is the vice principal of Los Santos High School. Then there is Vincent Peters. He is an instructional designer and he's going to be hired as a consultant for the project that will be initiated by the district administrators. Then there is the principal and the superintendent. These characters, their names were not mentioned in this case, but they are playing an important role for this part. This case starts with the principal and the superintendent approaching Sandra Sanchez, and they're going to tell her about a project that will be initiated by the district. It is basically an official new mandate, and this project is going to start in fall, and it will be the transition of the school to become a pilot school to prepare and be training teachers to teach in the alignment of the Common Core new standards or set of standards. This new Common Core actually is a national initiative that aims to establish a set of academic standards for specifically math and language arts. The district chooses Los Santos High School exactly for two main reasons. First of them is Sandra Sanchez herself. She's a representative of many of the students in the district. She has very effective communication abilities when it comes to communicating with both parents and community members. She can speak both Spanish and English, and also she is working on her PhD assessment, which makes her seen to be amenable to this project. A second reason would be the school itself, since the school is serving a large number of students with disabilities and it is very known to be successful with them, especially with students who need English language learning or individualized education skills or plans. Now the district apparently has a plan set for 2 years already. In the first year, they are aiming that the school will implement teacher trainings and teacher evaluations based on the Common Core standards. By the second year, the same process will be repeated in all the schools districts following Los Santos strategies as an example. The school district administrators will feel that Sandra will work effectively with an instructional designer. His name is Vincent Peters. So they're going to hire him as an outside consultant. Vincent Peters and Sandra Sanchez are expected to work together in order to create teachers' training materials and new teachers' assessment and evaluations based on the Common Core standards and modify all these documents to a full district deployment. Until this point, Sandra will have some concerns about teachers' reactions once they hear that the district is paying an outside consultant while those teachers are still being asked to pay their own daily teaching materials with their own personal money. Well, Sandra believes that she needs to set a meeting with this person she's going to be working with. So she's going to invite Vincent Peters to her office one day after school. And a meeting gonna happen. In this meeting, Sandra wants to know and learn more about Vincent's past experiences and background experiences, to be specific. She starts by introducing herself first and her background. Then it was time for Vincent to talk. He starts talking about his bachelor degree in psychology, then his master's in instructional design, couple past experiences in a hospital and in different projects. However, Sandra realizes that Vincent has no past experiences and no experience actually in the Key 12 context, which is going to leave her a little bit disappointed. So she begins explaining the Los Santos context to give Vincent a little background about the Common Core standards. She exactly began stating that 48 states convened about 2 years ago, and they developed a Common Core standards document. These standards are currently adopted by 46 states, and that the full implementation accompanied with the assessment will exactly take place in 2 years. In the meantime, School districts across the nation will see a transitioning movement to replace their individual state standards with a national set of standards. Of course, as has been mentioned before, English language arts and mathematics will be the primary focus, while all the other subjects area will be emphasizing higher literacy requirements. Sandra states that the main goal of this program is for students to graduate with knowledgeable and skills that will help them and allow them to be successful in college and their careers. Sandra suggests Vincent some sites where he can learn more about his new common standards and that he should be taking federal mandates for Los Santos High School in considerations, since the school serves many students with disabilities and students who are English language learners. After the meeting, Sandra will gather some informational materials for Vincent and will email it to him, as you will see it in figure 5.1. And she also gonna arrange a helping group committee that was recommended actually by Vincent to help him understand the background of the school more. Now, after Sandra handles the helping group part that Vincent recommended, a second part is going to happen where also a meeting going to happen where the teachers committee, who are this group, are going to be present too. Now the characters in this part are Edward Contreras. He is 20 years experienced teacher for freshman English. Joyce Brown is the special education teacher and the head of the department. She is very educated and knowledgeable about special education laws and compliances with children, especially those with autism and those who have Asperger's syndrome. Chris Collins is the curriculum coach for the high school levels. Then there is Carmen Vasquez. She's a parent who is her oldest child is a sophomore. And there is Josie Gavin, who is the special English language coordinator in the district for 5 years. Let's keep in mind at this point that the ELL programs take students 2 hours a week at the high school level to work on their English language skills. As the day of this meeting comes, Vincent, of course, gonna take a lead first to introduce himself to everyone on the table. Then he will start introducing the project agenda, which involves designing trainings for teachers to adopt the common core standards in their teaching. He will also explain how these standards are actually performance-based, which he thinks it will be exciting and rewarding for both students and teachers. He continues suggesting that they can have meetings and trainings in evenings after school or on Saturdays. Once he does this, the teachers committee will show their concerns about implementing this whole new project and they think that it's all gonna be a fiasco. Then stating that they can't take part of any meetings or trainings after school nor Saturdays due to their busy schedule and responsibilities. Chris Collins, of course, will be the first one to mention that, including the 4 professional development days, teachers can't be required to come to any extra sessions or trainings without a compensation that should be offered to them. As this happens, Vincent will now suggest a schedule that he believes it will work for everyone, and he will distribute this figure that you see in front of you, which is 5.3, as a handout on the table. He explains that creating 40 minutes enhancement period at the beginning of each school day and shaving of 5 minutes from each class will help and have great efficacy on both teachers and students. He continues explaining that this time enhancement will be used for teacher collaborations in team and will provide extra times for students. He states that responsibilities for facilitation during the enhancement period rotate across the academic departments, so each one receives a common planning time each week. As a conclusion for this meeting, first there is the schedules that Vincent made that states new enhancement time and collaboration time for teachers. Some teachers sees that these schedules may not be fit for them to finish the lessons, as well as it might be taking away their instructional and practice time. On the other hand, Vincent take notes for himself, things that he learned from the members of the committee, is that teachers have no special training to prepare ELLs or IEP students for the tests or skills tests they are taking. The second part or second point is that teachers' evaluations in assessment are barely done in the school. Third point is ELL students have difficulties with idioms and conventions in English language. Then finally, kids with IEPs are given accommodations where they can have extra time on their tests, or they are just taken somewhere quiet to do it or complete it. Well, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of things to think about for this case. First, there is a training that was offered by the district to prepare teachers to teach in the alignment of the Common Core standards. Then there are special trainings that should be given to teachers in order to know how to deal with students who are ELs and IEPs, let alone implementing a successful design for teachers' evaluations, which also has to be creative. Also, let's not forget about considering time and taking that in really taking that in consideration, because we know that teachers cannot come in any evenings or Saturdays for any kind of trainings. Now, there is a schedule that Vincent Peters had already prepared for the school, but do you think it's going to be enough? Is it going to solve all this? We don't know. This is something we're going to discuss and analyze and try to find solution for throughout this week. You will also find 5 questions below this video, which you can answer in the discussion. And thank you for listening. See you in class.